Dealing with failure. Failure is good. In this video, we've outlined 14 reasons why failure is not a bad thing, but it is actually good for success. When people are debating on setting off on new ventures, one of the main things holding them back is themselves, and specifically their fear of failure. We're here today to tell you, though, that failure is good. Yep, that's right. Failing can actually be a good thing. When it comes to success, everybody has their own unique idea of what true success is. For some people, success is earning 6 figures a year, running a successful business, living in a big house, driving a fancy car, and wearing a Rolex watch. For others, success is simply being truly happy and content in life. Whatever your ideas of success may be, for you to succeed, you must first fail, which is why we're looking at why failure is good. From the outside looking in, it's easy to see somebody else doing well and to perceive their success as effortless and assume that it came easily to them, or that they just got lucky. We must remember that perception isn't true reality. In truth, whether it's a successful marriage, a big house, a healthy investment portfolio, a thriving business, or true happiness, somewhere along the way, failure will have occurred in some form or another. Number 1. Failure means you gave it a shot. We miss 100% of the shots we don't take, and if you don't try, you'll stand no chance of succeeding. People are scared to take chances and to try new things because they're worried that they'll fail. But so what? Providing that failure won't bankrupt you or negatively impact you, who cares if you fail, as long as you gave it a shot? Far too many people live in fear of failure because they're worried what others will think, or they're worried they'll let themselves down because they've piled so much pressure upon themselves. Failure doesn't necessarily mean that you have truly failed. It means that you were brave enough to leave your own comfort zone and to try new things. Number 2. Failure teaches us how to adapt. Sometimes we never see our true value or our true ability unless our backs are against the wall. A cornered animal will often fight back and show its true bravery, and the same principle applies to us. If we truly want something and we fail, rather than let it get us down and dwell on it, we instead learn from our failures and use it as incentive to work even harder. If, for example, we had an important business idea riding on a business plan that didn't quite work out, rather than accepting defeat, we can instead take a look at where we went wrong and do what is necessary to ensure that we get it right the next time. We don't truly know what we're capable of until our backs are against the wall. Number 3. Every single time you fail, you are a step closer to success. Again, people from the outside looking in don't truly see what it takes to be successful. They don't see it because they aren't there. To make anything a success, it requires a whole heap of work and a whole host of failures along the way. We need to remember, though, that failure is good. Failure is not failure at all. It is simply a bump in the road to success. As the saying goes, fall down 9 times, stand up 10. If you are trying to make your business a success, every time you fail, you know what not to do the next time, which in turn will take you that one step closer to success. At the time it will be frustrating, but if you trust the process and truly believe that you can make it work, once you've gotten over the initial disappointment of failing, you'll be one step closer to achieving your goals, whatever they may be. If you are enjoying this video so far, please make sure you subscribe to this channel and click the alert notification. Also, check out the description below for some amazing products and services that will help you through this process. Number 4. Failure shows that nothing is permanent. Another reason why failure is considered to be such a good thing is the fact that it shows you that nothing is permanent. Okay, we try something, we take a chance and we fail, but life goes on. The world keeps turning and we dust ourselves off and try again. Yes, we feel low for a while, but time is a great healer, and as time goes by, memories of our failures begin to fade, and we make strides towards our successes. Eventually we will succeed and get to where we need to be, and this will prove to us that failure is only temporary. Failure is the optimist's best friend, as it indicates that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Number 5. Failure keeps you humble. Whereas there is nothing wrong with hyping yourself up and believing in yourself, we mustn't confuse confidence with arrogance. It's all well and good being confident, but some people out there are unfortunately guilty of being cocky and arrogant rather than confident, which many consider being a toxic trait. Another key example of why failure is good is because it helps us to keep your ego in check, and it keeps you humble. When we try something and fail, It shows us that we are only human and that we aren't flawless. Everybody makes mistakes now and then, and when we fail, this helps us to bring us back to reality. Everybody has times when they become overly confident and overly cocky, and at times this can backfire and come back to bite us on the behind. Failure shows us that we can make mistakes, and that not everything we touch turns to gold. Number 6. Failure makes us better at taking risks. Another key benefit of failure is the fact that failure actually helps us to take risks. Now, before we go any further, we have to acknowledge the fact that not every risk is worth taking, and that certain risks out there can be dangerous. One thing that you will notice about individuals that have achieved success in life is the fact that they were willing to take risks. Sometimes, calculated risk can pay dividends, as they can help us to push ourselves beyond our comfort zones and to try things others wouldn't dare to try. Sometimes when we fail, that failure is all that is needed to give us a nudge and encourage us to take risks which could pay off hugely. Number 7. Failure makes you braver and builds courage. Another fantastic example of just how important failure can be is the fact that failure can make you braver and help you to build up your courage. People that have to deal with and accept failure are often courageous and brave. And we have nothing left to lose but everything to gain. Not seeing what we wanted to happen actually to fruition can be extremely devastating. People that have failed after putting everything into their endeavors are not cowards at all, and they certainly aren't failures. They're actually brave and courageous, especially when they dust themselves off and try again. Another famous saying goes something along the lines of, "Our greatest glory is not in failing, but in rising every time we fall." The more we deal with failure, the stronger and more resilient we become. Number 8. Failure helps us to build a positive attitude. When talking about failure and why failure isn't necessarily a bad thing, we need to focus on the fact that failure helps us to build a positive attitude. When things don't go our way, we can either wallow in self-pity and feel sorry for ourselves and bitter at the universe for not giving us what we want, or we can adopt a positive attitude and outlook on life. Okay, failing will suck, but if we think logically, we can look at the fact that statistically, the more we try, the more likely we are to succeed and get to where we need to be eventually. All we need to do is look at some of the world's greatest success stories and see how many times those involved failed to begin with before they got to where they wanted to be. Eventually, failure will actually help us to become more positive. Number 9. Failure allows you to reevaluate what is truly important. One of the main reasons why failure is deemed so important is because it helps you to reevaluate what you consider to be truly important. Again, whether you're looking to start your own business, make a relationship success, or get yourself in great physical shape, any failures you encounter along the way will actually be more beneficial than you believe. As an example, if you are trying to get that elusive six-pack physique you've always wanted finally, this will likely require plenty of hours each week dedicated to going to the gym, buying, prepping, and eating healthy food. Now, if you find that you're struggling to stick to your diet because there are certain foods that you enjoy, or if you can't find the time to go to the gym because you see your buddies each week, these failures can be deeper rooted than you may believe. If, for example, you normally see your buddies on a Friday for games night, despite the fact that Friday should be a gym night, this tells you that seeing your friends and socializing with them is more important to you than exercising. We aren't saying that you shouldn't exercise, because you should, as it is very beneficial. It is just that your perceived failure in terms of getting to the gym on a Friday is actually telling you just how important your friends are to you. Despite it being a failure, you will likely learn something about yourself from it, which is just one of the many reasons why failure is good. Number 10. The more you fail, the less you have to lose. Another reason why failure isn't necessarily a bad thing is because it may help you to take risks which you wouldn't usually take. If, for example, you have a lot to lose on a new business venture because thus far you've never failed, it could be tempting to play it safe and stay in your comfort zone, just in case your new venture doesn't work out. If, however, you've tried multiple times in the past to get a new venture up and running, the more you failed, the less afraid of failure you will be the next time, which in turn will help you to be braver. If you feel as if you've nothing to lose, you're more likely to take a chance on a business venture or idea, despite the odds being against you. Some of the world's greatest success stories have come on the back of failure, so don't assume that failure is always a bad thing, because later down the line, the opposite could very well be true. Number 11. Failure teaches us lessons. Instead of thinking of failure as failing, instead, think of failure as a lesson. If, for example, You're trying to lose weight and you experiment with a new diet plan and eat unusual foods you've not eaten before because it is alleged that they speed up weight loss. Yet the opposite occurs. This is a lesson. Rather than thinking that we have failed because we wrecked our diet, tried something new, and gained weight instead, we can instead learn from this mistake. Okay, we gained weight, but what is done is done. And we know now that following that specific diet and eating those specific foods will not help us lose weight in the future. By failing, we know what not to do, which in turn, by process of elimination, will make us more likely to succeed the next time we try. Number 12. Failure allows you to identify your weaknesses. Another key reason why failure is not necessarily a bad thing is that failure can allow us to identify our weaknesses and build on them. A bodybuilder, for example, is judged on muscularity and symmetry of their physique. If a bodybuilder loses points because the judges feel that their shoulders are out of proportion with the rest of their body, they know now that their shoulders are their weaknesses. For the next several months, they can focus on bringing the shoulders up so that the next time they compete, their shoulders look better, and they will likely place better at the show. Once we can identify our weaknesses, whatever they may be, we can then go ahead and focus on turning our weaknesses into our strengths. In order to identify our weaknesses, we must first fail. Number 13. Failure can develop problem-solving skills. Okay, even though failure is necessary for us to succeed, it is still something which we are going to want to avoid and get over so that we can achieve our goals. If we fail, in order to ensure that when we try again, we succeed, we need to find out what went wrong last time and need to look for ways of ensuring that we don't fail again the next time we try. This is where failure is good. You see, in order to ensure that we don't fail again, we need to break out our problem-solving skills and do what is necessary to succeed. Failure helps build critical thinking and can also help make us better problem solvers, which will carry over into everyday life as well. Number 14. Failure makes success sweeter. Finally, the last example of why failure is good is simply due to the fact that failure will make you appreciate success even more. If you've been trying to achieve a goal for a prolonged period of time but find yourself failing time and time again, eventually, when you're able to achieve your goal and succeed, boy will you appreciate your success. If you try something and succeed right away, sure, it's a good feeling. But if you've never failed, you won't truly appreciate how amazing it feels to finally succeed and get what you've been trying to get for so long. Now, you'll realize that every minute you've invested in making your dreams become a reality was worth it, and you will appreciate your success even more. Finally, please make sure you rewatch this video and our other videos. Repetition is key to success. Apply these things. You will thank us later. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow us on social media.